Welcome to Pre-Snap Podcast, presented by LineStar app. Here's your host, Casey Bubba and Scott Bogman.
And welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the Pre-Snap Podcast, brought to you by the wonderful people at LineStar Sports. Make sure you check them out on Twitter at LineStar app and at LineStar NFL. And most importantly, download the app in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Everything you need in the palm of your hands to build your winning DFS lineups, especially on weeks like Week 15, where everything goes haywire. We're here to recap Week 15, look ahead to Week 16, look ahead to the two-game Tuesday slate, recap the week that was. So much fun, so much fun. You can check me out on Twitter at BDentric, and my co-host is always on Twitter at Bogman Sports. Scott Bogman, how we doing, my friend?
I'm doing pretty good. Steelers had a solid week. Got a win against Tennessee. Cleveland lost. Baltimore lost. We like that. Unfortunately, Cincinnati won. So still third in the North, but we still play Cleveland and Baltimore one more time this year. And, not like Cincinnati's above choking. They almost did to Denver without Teddy Bridgewater. So, we'll see. Fingers crossed. But like you said, weird week. And I don't know if you knew this. Someone in the ITL Army posted this in our group me room, that since this was the fewest amount of touchdowns on a Sunday, 40 touchdowns on a Sunday, is the smallest amount on a slate with 10 or more games since 1994, where there were 39 touchdowns. So if you thought nobody scored for you, you were correct, but nobody scored for anybody. So that's kind of what it was. I was looking at one of my leagues and I was like, God, me and the guy I'm playing, it's like, a slap fight here. We've got to be, how are we both playoff teams? Because I had like Carson Wentz and Mike Evans and Leonard Fournette and Cortland Sutton all starting on that team. And I was the high scorer because I had Mark Andrews in the Steelers defense. So, it's just something that works out in a weird way, but it was a strange, weird one for everyone. But at least a bunch of games got moved, and we're still not even done with Week 15 yet. We got 2 more games left.
And this might be a thing that happens the rest of the season. Even though they changed protocols, there's 47 more players that got put into COVID health procedures on Monday. So it's just a revolving door of fun, folks.
And by the way, I don't think this is just a this year thing. I think this is just moving forward. So,
yeah, I'm not going to say any more to that, but yes, eventually there will be a new normal situation. But until then, yes.
But right now, the normal is the possibility of games moving. So
yes, definitely, I'm with you there. So, and you mentioned you had your Andrews and your Steelers. In my longtime home league, I'm dominating that week because I had Mahomes and Kelsey. That's about all that mattered. So, like, my Thursday started off great. I was like, start canceling games. I don't even care now.
The Welsh and I won in flex because we had Mahomes and Hill. So
but now Kelsey's on the COVID IL, so let's just have some fun with that as well. So, but he's
I hope he misses because they play
he's vaccinated, so they said he's able to come back with the new policy as soon as probably tomorrow, I think it is.
Yeah.
So we good, as they say. We Gucci, as the kids say. But let's recap some Week 15 for you real quick before we look ahead to the fun that is upon us. We had the Thursday night football game that we talked about briefly there between the Chiefs and the Chargers, where it started out stagnant. It was all stagnant almost the way the rest of the week went. And then business picked up. The Chiefs went in overtime 34-28. The Chargers went for it on fourth down twice in easy field goal range. A lot of critiques there. Hey, that's the way Staley does things. I got no problem with it at all. There was no punts at all between either team until late in the fourth quarter. So it turned out to be a great game after a very slow start. Bogman, thoughts on this one?
I mean, just nice to see Mahomes throw for a ton of yards finally. 410 in this game. Kelsey and Hill being the lone benefactors pretty much. I mean, Clyde Edwards-Helaire had 50 total yards. He had as many rushing yards as Mahomes did, CEH did. So, the running game didn't play out like we thought it was, but Mahomes and Hill and Kelsey went nuts, so that was fun. Good to see Keenan Allen back out there scoring touchdowns. And glad that, at least from what we hear so far, that Parham is okay, because that looks scary. And then Joe Buck with the weird, it's cold down there. I mean, just such a weird statement for Buck to make, but glad he's okay. And this was a very fun, probably the best game to watch all week. And we got it out of the way pretty early.
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much the best one all week. And then we went into Saturday night where we knew this. We kept pumping this game up. It felt like it was going to be the game of the week. It was a pretty good football game. Colts come out victorious by 10. Jonathan Taylor with a big run at the end to just say, hey, Bill, try to stop me. You can't. Like, the he's amazing. Absolutely amazing. And his MVP odds are still way too high, in my opinion. So,
dude, yeah. Well, Sean, we're looking at plus 1,200
yeah,
right now.
plus I saw this morning, plus 1,200. Like, I get it. Like, I pick Rodgers right now. I could see the argument for Brady. Either one, I really don't care. But there needs to be much more respect on JT's name. That's all I'm saying. 1,200 is ridiculous. And if he keeps doing what he's doing now, it better be like plus 200 pretty soon. Like, the dude's playing that well. But they get the job done. And Mac Jones looked pretty. It was kind of the opposite. The Colts barely threw this week compared to the Patriots last week.
Well, I mean, I thought that they were going to try to limit Carson Wentz throwing the ball. I didn't know they would go down to 57 yards for him. I had to start him in a couple spots because I had Lamar Jackson in those spots, and Carson has been my backup all year, so not the best scenario for Lamar not to play, but I made it work in at least one league. But like you said, JT is the main story here. JT and just the way the Colts have been playing recently and the way the Titans have been playing recently, like they are going to cross paths, I think, pretty quick here. The Colts are rising and the Titans are a sinking ship without Derrick Henry and AJ Brown. So, hats off to the Colts, and let's get the Patriots out of that number 1 seed, right? Nobody wants to see that.
Darn straight. I'm all about that one. Heading to Sunday, Cowboys-Giants, pretty boring game overall. 21-6. Cowboys dominated from start to finish, and in reality, this game probably should have been much more lopsided than it was.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I'm so weirded out by how bad Dak has looked the last 2 weeks. Yeah. He's looked terrible. CeeDee Lamb left his hands in Dallas. Don't know what that was all about. And I think the Giants might start Jake Fromm these last couple of games. So it is just rough in New York. So yeah, not a lot to pull out of that game. I think the Dallas Cowboys will get back on their offensive stuff this week, but obviously no guarantee.
Have you seen the meme of Glennon's neck as it's like each salary he's made, all the money he's made, and then his neck stretches? Have you seen that? He's how much money? It's impressive. I'll have to send it to you. Basically, he's making a little less than $6 million for each career win he's had this year.
Hey, you know what?
His career.
Go Glennon. It's good work if you can get it. So
definitely. Chase Daniel says, "Kudos, my friend." Texans Jags. This was electric in a weird way. The Texans take care of business 30-16. The Jags, it was tight early, then the Texans took over. We did get to see a lot of James Robinson, which was great. Another big week for Mills and Cooks, which is great to see also. So, two bad teams, but we got some fantasy relevant, more fantasy relevance out of some key pieces in this game than we did elsewhere.
Yeah, I mean, Cooks is really the only guy. I mean, Mills was fine, super flex. He was a better start than Wentz, better start than a lot of guys. So, definitely better than stupid Trevor Lawrence, who still isn't doing much here. Wish they'd run him a little bit more, but they're doing what they're doing, right? They're giving Treadwell most of the targets here, but just glad to see Cooks and James Robinson, like the two real noteworthy guys in this game, get it going. Did you see the fan in the end zone?
Yes, on the touchdown play. That's freaking as Jags as it gets.
Stupid. That is very Florida, right? Very Florida.
Florida man right there, for sure. He probably thought he was looking for his kids. I don't know. Steelers Titans. You mentioned it earlier. Steelers with a big W. The Titans, though, as much as garbage as we give them, they looked good early on. But I think as games go on, you start to see how their weaknesses get shown about, and that's happened in this game.
Yeah, I mean, it's they have squeaked out some wins. They beat Jacksonville, but they beat the Saints somehow. They beat the Rams, I think, that first week without Derrick Henry, but they've lost to the Texans, Pats, and Steelers now, and they got smoked by the Pats. The Steelers barely win this game. Nobody had anything on offense here. Like, Deontay Foreman was good, but he got rolled up on, I think early in the fourth.
Yep.
And
he came back though.
He came back. I mean, I was stunned because it looked like, to me, it looked like Liz Frank.
Yeah, all the Twitter doctors were stunned too. Trust me.
Right. Yeah. I mean, well, dude, we'll get to another injury that was crazy. I almost cursed. That was super crazy. That I thought a guy was dead, but Steelers did enough on offense to win this game. I mean, to end it with 3 field goals and to get 4 field goals out of Boswell was nice if you own him, but 12 rushes for 18 yards for Najee. I mean, this line is not blocking for him right now. It is horrific. Deontay had less than 10 PPR points, right? The Steelers as a team had 12 first downs and 2 for 11 on third, 35 rushing yards, 168 total yards. So it was a pathetic effort on both sides here. And, the real thing here was the turnovers. 5 fumbles for Tennessee, 3 lost, and a pick. You lose the turnover battle by 4 and only lose by 6 is somewhat of a miracle here. So weird game. Foreman, I guess, is startable for Tennessee. Nobody else really is. I don't know. I guess Najee and Deontay, but Pat Freiermuth left with a concussion, so nobody else really startable for Pittsburgh.
Yeah, it was tricky. Very, very tricky. I expect, obviously, bounce backs from some of those boys, but not what we were hoping for, to say the least. Dolphins, Jets. Dolphins win 31-24. The start of the game, I was busy running errands, and it was already 10-0, and I get a text from Bogman. You aren't kidding. These guys like to make life difficult for you. I said, no, I'm not. This is what they do. Then they came out in the second half, and they looked like a whole different ball club. And it really wasn't even as close as 7 points in the second half. They were dominating that football game. So they got the job done, and they let Tua throw the ball. He threw some dimes into Devontae Parker that looked like Bama Tua, and it got me way too excited to be disappointed soon.
Dude, he still didn't hit his stupid over prop 250 yards.
Well, because the first half they didn't do anything. It's like the second half they realized they have to let him go, and he did. It was ridiculous.
So who starts next week? Are they back to Gaskin with a full week of practice, or
that's like I had people in one of my chats that were all angry, and I didn't roster him anywhere this week, and people were all about it. And I was like, they activated him like the day before, and he's been on COVID for like almost 2 weeks, guys. Like we've seen this throughout the entire NFL. Like you got.
That's why people are worried about Darrell Henderson for tonight's games. So
so that's what you got to think about with these guys. I'd expect Gaskin to be at least like 70-30, if not the main guy this next time.
Yeah, I mean, Carter came back, but once again, 9 touches coming off the COVID list. So
it was all in the first half. That was the weirdest part. Then it kind of disappeared.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell they're doing. This was Zach Wilson's best game, I feel like, and he was still bad. 13-23 for 170, so not a lot there. So, Waddle has already been cleared, so he's going to be back. So that'll be good. Parker looks good, and now you got a couple backs. So offense looking a little bit better already with the strong defense. Javon Holland also activated today. So Miami making a play for a spot. We'll see if they get there.
They're the 7th seed right now.
Yep. We'll see, man. I mean, it's 7. I would bet on them before I bet on Pittsburgh. So
it'd be a fun first round matchup, maybe.
I mean, who gets a home game in that loser ass game?
You might have to live broadcast that one if that one happens.
Well, we might have to do that. So I mean, no way both these teams make the playoffs, so we won't have to worry about it. But
we're good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just a little worried about the running game in Miami, but other than that, it's status quo. You don't want anybody with the Jets. And Miami, you want Waddle. So,
and don't discount Parker. I think he's a lot towards here because even before he got hurt and Waddle was there, Parker was getting some good looks from Tua. So give me some Parker. Cardinals Lions, the shocker of all shockers. Cardinals lose 30-12. It was never close at all.
No,
Kyler Murray looked broken. This game was bad all around, and Craig Reynolds. I know Jamal's back. They signed him off the practice squad after Jamal came back. They're giving him his props. Kid looked great. And your boy, St. Brown, beast.
Dude, Amon-Ra St. Brown, this is, 3 weeks in a row, 12, 12, 11 as far as targets go. So he had 50 weeks 1 through 13 or 12 or whatever it was. And now it's 12, 12, 11. So 30, 35 in the last 3 weeks. So he has been outstanding. Josh Reynolds got in the end zone too. The offense looked good. Goff looked good, but I know Goff went on the COVID list today. So Monday. So, be wary if he's going to play. Everyone would take a downgrade with Tim Boyle. But yeah, Goff has looked good the last couple of weeks. The Lions are not the worst team in the NFL by a long stretch.
We've been saying that a lot too. They're not.
Yeah. There are teams that are way worse than the Jets are way worse than the Lions. Texans, Jags, way worse than the Lions. So, I don't know what happened here with Arizona. I'm just going to take this as you don't prep enough, you don't respect your opponent, and you get beat in the NFL. That's just what happened. So I'm going to say that they had no respect for Detroit coming into this game, and they got stomped. So you don't respect Detroit, they will beat you, and it won't be close. So, I think that you're going to be able to be fine with Connor and Edwards. Connor still had 2 more touches, or actually 4 more touches than Edmonds. So I think he's still their guy, but Edmonds is going to get mixed in here. And I'm not worried about Kyler. I'm okay rolling Kyler out this week. I'm not going to pay much attention to this blip, but some guys not ending. Tannehill looks bad. Kyler Murray looks bad. Dak has looked bad the last couple of weeks. So a couple of these guys stumbling at the finish line for us.
Yep, pretty rough stuff. Who didn't stumble because he didn't have to do too much was Josh Allen. As the Bills win 31-14, game was never close, was never an issue. Gabe Davis got 2 touchdowns late. Singletary had a big game because it was that easy for the Bills. It was just they had to get it done. They got it done like we talked about. They moved on.
You talk about a team that has packed it in.
Yeah.
The Panthers are ready for winter. So Cam Newton had 20 incompletions and 18 completions. So he's terrible. He led them in rushing. Amir Abdullah, your leading receiver for the Panthers. So it's all bad there. With Buffalo, I mean, it looks like Singletary's just their guy now, but I just don't trust it. I just don't trust it. So I guess he's startable with all the injuries that we had this week and however many guys, however many guys we're going to have here on the COVID list, who knows? So he's trustable in that facet, but I love Gabe Davis having the career day here. Stephon Diggs caught a touchdown. I wish more would go to Knox, but we're just getting what we get from the Bills right now. They're not clicking on all cylinders, but they didn't have to in this game, and they still pounded the Panthers.
Yeah, easy pickings there. Bengals Broncos, you mentioned this one earlier. They got by. Bengals went 15-10. It wasn't pretty. Lots of field goals. Another down game for Mixon, which kind of surprised me a little bit, but not much to talk about besides the fact Teddy B, he's fine. He's coming out of the hospital, but it's going to be a Drew Lock week most likely.
Mixon ended with an ankle injury.
That's right.
I think in the third quarter. So I think they said if this was a playoff game, he would have still played. So I expect him to be okay for this week, but just pay attention, because that's just one of those dumb things, right? Where the ankle could swell up in the week and he could miss. So just pay attention to that. I mean, Denver has a very good pass defense. They have good corners. So it wasn't that shocking that Burrow didn't have a great day. But you can't trust any of these receiving options for Denver. They're all terrible. So it's just Javonte and Melvin Gordon. That's it, especially with Drew Lock playing. So I expect the Bengals to be okay moving forward.
Yeah, I'm with you. And the one stat that stood out to me today, like we talked about how Sutton's been a disappointment. All the receivers have been. It's been 8 straight weeks where Sutton's had 2 or fewer receptions.
I think like 5 or fewer targets a bunch of weeks in a row too.
It's unreal what they're doing with
they
that offense.
Got to get a quarterback, dude. They have too many good weapons on this team to be stuck with, and I'm glad he's okay, by the way. It's a scary injury for Teddy. He got knocked out, kind of like Parham, same deal. And I'm glad he's okay, but I just don't think he's an NFL caliber quarterback.
He's a backup quarterback. He's a good, let me finish a game out type guy.
Yeah, he's your Andy Dalton type, probably a little bit worse than Andy Dalton and never even close to Andy Dalton's peak.
There you go. Exactly. Falcons, Niners, this one, the Niners complete control. They're starting to look each week. These Niners are looking scarier and scarier because the defense is ramping up. It's an easy matchup. I get it, but Jimmy G did what he had to do. You got Wilson running wild. Kittle did his thing. Debo, another rushing touchdown. Pure domination. The Falcons actually failed inside the red zone twice in the fourth quarter. Like they could have put up some more points potentially, but in the end, Niners got it done.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is without Eli Mitchell too, who's been their best back.
Who's cleared concussion protocol as of today as well.
Right. He still has a knee issue.
Yeah, that's the concern for Thursday night. Yeah. We're
calling him questionable going in here. But Kittle looked great and he has looked great. I think Debo might be one of the best offensive players in the NFL.
He is. He's amazing. Unicorn.
He really is a unicorn. That's a great way to describe him. For Atlanta, I mean, you're back to trusting nobody in the run game, and Patterson is just not trustable anymore.
Yeah, it's gone. That was fun while it lasted.
And I don't understand it. I don't understand why they give him less than 50% of the snaps and all that stuff. Just doesn't make sense to me. Russell Gage has been a dude. Kyle Pitts is getting more use. So they've been up and down with Kyle Pitts. He's been like, where they would, when Hayden Hurst came back, they gave him, I think it was a season low snap percentage for him last week, but 4 for 77 here is good. But the 11 targets for Gage, he has just been a dude. So love Russell Gage moving forward. He should be way more expensive this week too.
Yeah, I've been rostering him the last 3 weeks because he's been so cheap. I'm waiting to see that increase one of these days because even when they're facing good teams, they have to throw the football. So it's great. Packers Ravens. This was the game of Sunday. Ravens almost came back. They went for 2 for the second straight week and missed to get the loss, but the Packers went 31-30, stay the 1 seed. Devontae Adams a down week, but Rodgers got it done, and more importantly, Huntley is awesome, so good, and so is Mark Andrews.
Stupid Packers could not hold on. I had them -5, and they let up this touchdown at the end of the game, but held on for the important part, the 2-point conversion, which that's got you twice, Harbaugh. You gonna do it again? I bet they do it again. They're very,
it's third time's a charm or something like that.
Tomlin said it. He's like, they're very analytically driven, so they're predictable in that state. Was Tomlin's way of saying they're predictable. He knew they were going to go for 2 at the end of their game. He did it here. Look, I like Aaron Jones back over A.J. Dillon now, finally out-snapped, out-touched A.J. Dillon, so he's back to the number 1. Devontae got his touchdown, so we got that. Thank you. And like you said, Huntley, they don't skip a beat too much without Lamar, but the run game has been weird. Since Latavius has come back, he's been eating more and more into Freeman, and he finally had one more touch than Freeman here, which is a little bit surprising. But like you said, Andrews is a stud. Brown had 10 catches for only 43 yards. I mean, would they turn him into Jalen Waddle?
No, Jarvis Landry said sup.
Yeah, exactly. So very strange line from him. We
and
shouldn't
Bateman
see that again.
Disappeared after a big week the previous week too.
Bateman had a bunch of snaps too, but could only get 2 targets.
Yeah.
So, which was surprising to see that. But I mean, these are 2 offenses that are fine. Lamar will be back this week. He'll be okay.
Yeah, he will
so.
Yeah, but Mark Andrews, man, it's good stuff. Sunday Night Football, and this is not me slipping up. Saints 9, Buccaneers 0.
Yeah, it was one of the weirder games I've seen in my life, Bob. I'm sure you're right there with me. I was like, all right, they'll start scoring soon, and it was a weird game. Everybody got hurt. Mike Evans out. Chris Godwin done for the year.
Yep.
Leonard Fournette going to miss a couple weeks. So fire up your ABs and your Tyler Johnsons and your Cameron Brates and your Ronald Joneses and maybe even Keyshawn Vaughn because Gio Bernard's on the IR too. Yep. So it is not great in Tampa Bay right now. They're going to have to regroup, but when they do, Brady will definitely win the MVP, which is why Jonathan Taylor's plus 1,200. But I thought, dude, Chris Godwin's injury, did you see it live?
No, I did not.
Oh, it looked like, do you remember the Willis McGahee injury from the Fiesta Bowl?
Yeah.
It looked like that, but from the side.
So not quite Napoleon Kaufman on Monday Night Football?
No, not that bad. But
okay. Did you send it to the Welsh?
No, of course not. Like that's I didn't like seeing it twice. So I'm not gonna do that. But dude, he got up and walked off, and I was like, how is he walking, dude? He should not be playing in the NFL. That dude is Batman. He should be fighting crime, right? And then they took him to the blue tent. He's running and cutting, and I'm like, how is this dude walking, let alone running and cutting? He wanted to go back in. They said no. And we find out today he's got a torn ACL. That dude should be Batman. He should be fighting crime in Tampa, in the greater whatever area. I don't know, but
he should be taking on Florida, man.
It sucks for him too because he's playing on the franchise tag this year.
Yeah, that sucks. And that's the biggest part about it.
Yeah, someone's still going to give him a boatload of money, so he'll be okay. But that hurts. That hurts his contract and everything. But I couldn't believe he was up and running around. But obviously, have surgery and probably miss a chunk of next year too. So that's not good.
Yeah, it was a rough one. What was also rough is at first we thought it'd be fun to have 2 Monday games, but it turned out it wasn't. So Monday day game, Raiders beat the Browns 16-14. Nick Mullins, the dude can bat. He's a good backup quarterback. I remember watching with the Niners. He went to Brett Favre U over there in Southern Miss and made some people happy. Raiders.
Dude, Mullins is. I don't mean to cut you off. Mullins and Bridgewater are very similar. And that's what you need to know.
I'd rather have Mullins personally.
There you go. I don't blame you for that. So that's where we are with Bridgewater. That's why we're so frustrated with Cortland Sutton.
It's amazing that the Browns have Keenum and Mullen, 2 really good backup quarterbacks. Like they know what they needed to do. Like they both could walk in and literally almost got another W this week because the Raiders just stunk.
If Baker Mayfield was your starter,
You need good backups.
That's why Tua has Jacoby Brissett, very experienced backup, right?
It's true. Smart teams do smart things.
Mason Rudolph. So sorry. Go ahead.
No, but I don't have a lot from this game besides it really sucked.
Yeah, I mean, DPJ had 8 targets, which is
dropped
nice
a couple
to see.
big ones too.
Yeah, he did. Nick Chubb got going in the second half. 92 yards or 94 yards, excuse me, for Jacobs isn't bad. I hate that Zay Jones and Foster Moreau were the leading target getters here, but I mean, Renfro 3 for 32. They made sure to bracket him. Deshaun Jackson had a huge drop. Brian Edwards caught a touchdown. It was a weird ass game, dude. All the games this week were weird. So why not throw this one on top? All we care about is the end result was awesome. So love the Daniel Carlson field goal and love the Browns losing.
Yeah, and you want to talk weird? Let's talk one more. Vikings Bears Monday Night Football on paper should have just been awesome. The weather was fine. 2 bad defenses. Like nobody left in the secondary for the Bears. Vikings doesn't matter if there's people left or not. They stink. Like this should have been awesome. And Nagy went back to Nagy ways and literally handcuffed Fields. Like he didn't run to the last 2 drives.
Well, he fumbled immediately. Like he had a fumble
immediately.
So I'm not gonna. He had 2 fumbles, by the way. He only lost 1.
Care.
But I'm with you. I get that. But I mean, at some point, it can't all be Nagy's fault, right?
No, it is. It's over. But then the Vikings on the flip side, the Vikings could have done. No, he's not. No one's Urban Meyer.
Right.
But the Vikings could have done so much more, and it was just like da 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 da.
Dude,
even Kirk Cousins throws punts. It's amazing.
That someone listed that as the most embarrassing throw in Monday Night Football history. Where was he going? What is the possible explanation for that?
Someone in the downtown Chicago area said you are getting the under tonight, sir.
500.
Yes, you're getting the under.
Just 500. Lowest, I think they said Kirk Cousins' lowest yards in a win when the entire secondary for Chicago was hurt.
Gone.
They were all on the COVID list. So I don't get what happened here with the 87 yards, but at least Jefferson got in the end zone. Dalvin Cook had a nice game, didn't score though. And then Smith Marset from Iowa steals.
Yeah, that was
a touchdown from anybody here. And the Bears, it looked like they may have had a touchdown at the end of that game, but who was it? The kid Horsted.
No, they gave it to him.
Did they give it to him?
Yeah, the final score is 17-9. They gave it to him.
Oh, they did give it to him. Okay, that was weird. I remember watching the end of that game, and I was like, all right, I can go do other stuff now. But I didn't realize they gave it to him. But I don't think he had control until outside the end zone, but whatever, not like it matters. Let's just take week 15 and throw it in the trash. We're not going to see a lot of this again. I know it was a weird COVID week for a lot of teams. Hopefully new protocols and guys wearing more masks and all that stuff will make week 16, 17 in the playoffs better. But, this was a weird week. So let's crumple it up and throw it in the trash, except for 2 more games that we have to play.
Bogman, we're not done yet. We still have 2 more games in week 15.
I mean, it's after Monday. We should be done.
Lucky us. You get 2 bowl games tomorrow. You get 2 NFL games tomorrow. Lucky us. What a world. What a time. Let's give a little DraftKings preview. Bud. Obviously, you can use this for FanDuel if you'd like, but let's talk a little DraftKings here and have a little fun as Bogman and I will pick teams against each other since our Saturday ones didn't get to go through because obviously we saw what happened there.
Who won the Thursday one again?
Yeah, you did again. Washington, Philadelphia, Seattle, and the Rams. 2 games, both starting at 4 Pacific, 7 Eastern. So they're going to go simultaneously, which is great. So you don't have to suffer through them separately. That's a good option as well. But let's have some fun, Bob. Let's have some fun, Bob. Week 15's been so bad. Washington, Philly, Seattle, Rams. How do you feel?
Look, I just don't know how Washington's going to win with Shermer. And one of my calls way back on Friday was Washington +9. You and I were talking about it, 9.5. Mm-hmm. Why is Philly getting this many points? It doesn't make any sense. It does now, but I don't know, man. This is very strange. So I'm taking Philly in that game. I think it has moved all the way down to 6.5, but Shermer is going to be quarterbacking for Washington. So it's tough to own anybody. It's tough to own Gibson, McLaurin, whoever. I mean, if you're in season long, you got to start him, but you don't roll him in DFS with the 3rd string quarterback. And then Rams and Seahawks. I mean, the Seahawks just don't have much. So The Rams need a win. I mean, they got themselves a great spot here by the Cardinals dropping one to the Lions. It'd be the most Rams thing in the world, I guess, to lose this one. But I think they win going away. So I think these are two probably not fun games, but this week is definitely strange. Hopefully we just see some scoring. That's all I want.
That's all I care about. I don't care who wins and loses. Just put some points on the board. So that means DFS. We need points. Who you got at quarterback?
I'm going to go with Jalen Hurts, $6,500, and let's take that rushing upside.
I'm going Matthew Stafford, 6,700. Give me all the Rams in this game. That's what I want. So Stafford, 6,700 for me. Who are your running backs this week?
I'm going to go with Sony Michel because I think they're going to do exactly what we saw from Myles Gaskin with Darrell Henderson and handcuff him a little bit, and they should be winning this game going away anyway. So give me Sony Michel at 5,800, and I take Miles Sanders because, once again, I think they'll be winning and going to him in the third and fourth quarter.
I went Miles Sanders as well, but I went Antonio Gibson, and I know Washington shouldn't win this game, but I went with Antonio, and this could really backfire on me.
But it could be great. He could have no 50 carries, right?
They need to hand it off as much as possible and dump it off as much as possible.
Right.
And in a PPR format, I'm just playing that angle. It could backfire tremendously, but it also has upsides. No J.D. McKissick. You look through their players, it's bad. Like Peterson might give him a little love, and I'm not talking Adrian, folks. So I'm going Gibson and Sanders. We'll see how that pans out. You're going with Hurts at quarterback. What are your wide receivers looking like?
Well, I don't know how you don't have Cooper Kupp in this slate. So
same.
I got him in. So he's expensive, 8,800, but he's the best player on this slate. Van Jefferson at 5,400 also went with him. And then DK Metcalf at 6,400.
Yeah, I went Kupp and Metcalf as well because they're going to be chalky for good reasons. I'm just going to eat the chalk. Metcalf, if he doesn't do it this week, then I almost didn't use him because I think they're just going to focus so much coverage on him. But then again, he can throw to Swaim and Estridge all game long. Like they're decent punts if you want, but you really don't need to punt a lot on this slate, to be honest. So I'll go Metcalf and Kupp. And my third one, I almost went Jefferson, but I'm going to go OBJ. And he's a little bit cheap. He's a little bit cheaper than Jefferson. I know he's coming off the COVID IL, but he tested negative like the day after he went on.
Yeah.
He had a weird, I'm not as concerned about OBJ. Could be wrong, but 3 straight games of touchdowns. I'm all in on OBJ on this one. So that'll be my situation there. Who is your tight end?
I took Gerald Everett because the Seahawks should be losing and throwing the ball to him, playing catch up.
I almost went Everett, and I did not, though. I almost went him. I went Blanton for the punt for the Rams at 2,500. He put up almost 5 DK points last week. Again, I expect him to throw all over Seattle this week. You're going the running back side of things. I'm going with the throwing side of things. So I'm going with Blanton at 2,500. Who's your flex?
For my flex, I went with Rashad Penny because I had some money left over. Yep. So
that's who I have
hopefully he gets the run. So we'll see.
Yeah, I went Penny too. I was at first I had Penny in for Sanders and I had Goddard in at flex. But I put Sanders in because I think they'll actually use him a lot this week. I hope so. Hurts back almost scared me more because of the way he runs. But I went Penny as well because they have no one else. They're all on the COVID list or they're hurt, just period. So I think Penny's going to get his one way or another. And then defensively, where'd you go?
I took Seattle because they're the cheapest. That was always going to be my play. Didn't matter. I was just going to go as cheap as possible.
I went Washington because I think Jalen Hurts is not good.
You know what? That's fair.
Yeah, and Washington's defense is getting better. So
it has. It's gotten way, way better. So
now it's probably all on the COVID list, but it's worth a shot.
Yeah. Well, I mean, this is going to be an interesting 2 games here. It at least gives us something to do. A little annoyed that it's going to happen in the middle of that UTSA game, but I'll probably have UTSA up and then be switching back and forth on my other TV between the NFL games. So
no doubt about it. Bogman, let's give a quick look ahead to week 16. As obviously, for those regular listeners to the Pre-Snap podcast, first, you can check us out on YouTube, on the LineStar YouTube if you'd like, or just listen to us like you usually do. Give us a rate review on iTunes. If you listen on Spotify, you can give rates and review there now too. That came down on Monday. So go check that out. That goes a big way as well because the world is switching to Spotify apparently. So that's something that would help out.
Joe Rogan's got a little sway. So
just a bit. Dr. Joe is what I've been told. But week 16, lots of fun stuff coming up. Hopefully much, much better. Like I was saying, if you're a regular listener to the show, this is just kind of a quick thought segment. We got you on your picks and bets in a few days. That'll get you a little more detailed before even more COVID news breaks. So that's what we got going for you here. Thursday, you already mentioned Elijah Mitchell. back from concussion, still the knee issue. Bad Titans team. Niners head to Nashville, though. That's still never an easy situation on a short week.
Yeah, it's not, but I mean, just the way these two teams are going opposite directions here, I'll be taking the Niners, and I don't know. It's going to be tough. Like, who are the Titans you take? I like Jeff Swain, but they didn't give him snaps this week. So, is it Westbrook Akina? Is it Foreman against the Niners? These are some tough calls. So, the showdown slate is going to be fun to talk about this week.
Big time, Bengals. I liked Foreman a lot this past week, but that'll be interesting when we break that one down. I hope they keep winning because they're starting to look like a kind of well-rounded team right now. So I'm curious to see what news we get the rest of the week to kind of get us ready for Thursday Night Football. Saturday, though, we got a couple interesting ones here. We start off with Browns on the short week going into Lambeau as the Packers are the number 1 seed. Bucks are beat up. The Packers can pretty much almost lock things up, I think, after this week. So this could be a big one here. Browns, Packers. I think Packers roll.
Yeah, I do too. It's not too much of a secret. The Browns had their game pushed back and they play on Saturday. So they're at a schedule disadvantage only by a day here. But they've also had Stefanski's been missing. I don't know if he's going to be back tomorrow. Hopefully he will be, but putting in a game plan on a short week is going to be difficult without your head coach against the best team in the NFL right now. So, the Packers are not unbeatable. They can easily lose a game. They almost did to Baltimore with a backup quarterback this week. So you got to be on your P's and Q's, but this spread's big for a reason. I think Green Bay rolls.
Another great Saturday night game featuring the Colts. Colts head into Arizona. Colts big win against the Pats. Cardinals got embarrassed by the Lions. This is a fun one. Like, do the Colts keep rolling or do the Cardinals bounce back and say, hey, we screwed up. We're still fine?
Dude, not a good thing to drop one to Detroit and then have the Colts coming into town. So, dude, I'm going to take the Colts as of right now.
Well. Yeah.
I just
feels like a sucker bet, though. It feels like a sucker bet.
It feels very trappy. You're right about that. Yeah, it feels super trappy. But I'm going to take the Colts and JT.
Yeah, no, I don't blame you. That's where if I had to make a pick right now, it's where I'd be. But we'll have a lot more to see because, like we both said earlier, Kyler's going to bounce back. Not worried about that. Kyler's going to be fine. This Colts defense is legit, and JT's a monster. So another primetime game. I look forward to seeing those MVP odds drop. So if you like to make some wagers, folks, this is your chance. Just a little bit. You don't have to go all in. Just a little bit. Get it while it's good. Sunday, Giants, doesn't matter. They both stink. Yeah. Giants, Eagles. This is a game we can just cross off the list pretty much.
Yeah, first of all, who knows what's going to happen to the Eagles? And, who are you starting for the Giants? Maybe Saquon if he's cheap. That's
Stop it, Bubba. Stop it.
He's never cheap, so it doesn't matter.
Rams, Vikings. We'll see what the Rams do on Tuesday, but this Vikings team just kind of caked, just cruised through Monday Night Football. They didn't care at all. Back home, could be an interesting game.
Yeah, I got the Rams all the way in that one. I don't think that one will be very close.
Yeah, and you'd imagine they'll have Higbee and company back too, so that'll be interesting. Bills, Patriots, man. The Bills almost got it done the first time. They really need to get it done this time, or the Dolphins are coming and knocking to get them out of the way. So it's going to be an interesting game too.
It's an enormous game. Yeah, this is for seeding. This is for...
How is this not Sunday Night Football?
Yeah, I know that...
I know why. I just saw it.
It's because the Cowboys are on.
Yes, I just saw who's playing.
But yeah, this is a great game. Hopefully it'll be an entertaining one. Did you see Bill Belichick apologize to the media today?
No, that actually exists.
Yeah. So he said he had his Monday press conference and he said, hey guys, I just want to say a quick sorry to you guys. I know you're just doing your jobs. And I was probably a little quick on my answers on Saturday, but we got beat. And there was nothing much to say outside of we got beat without looking at the tape. So I was like, what is happening? Is Bill turning over a new leaf or something? Did his wife say that you have to go apologize to those guys or something? Like, it was very strange to see, but I don't like it. So let's go with Buffalo. I don't like this new nice Bill Belichick. Let's keep that killer instinct. So
yeah,
give me
it's
Buffalo.
Going to be interesting for sure. Buccaneers at Panthers. We talked about it even before last week, before the injuries. The Bucs remaining schedule is a joke. The Panthers are on it twice. Like it's a cakewalk. Well, they need it with the injuries, and I think they're going to be just fine this week.
Yeah, I think they roll here. Like we said, Panthers seem to have packed it in, so they can play with some pride. Though I think 11.5 might be too big of a number. So I'm if it stays double digits, I will be taking Carolina, but I think Tampa Bay wins that one going away.
Jags, Jets. The Jags legit could put a 2-game winning. Or no, they didn't win last week. The Texans did. The Jags could put a 1-game winning streak together here because the Jets are that bad. Like, it's literally the Jags want to lose this game, but they might not be able to help themselves.
Dude, this is the toilet bowl right here.
Yes, this is the legit toilet bowl.
Oh God, how are these the first 2 quarterbacks off the board?
If the Jags win and the Texans lose this week, we have 3 teams that are 3-12.
I mean, I think that's going to happen. So give me Jacksonville in this game. They both suck. So
yeah, it's a bad one. Another one to cross off the agenda.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that the Jaguars players might actually have some fun without Urban there. So we'll see.
100%. The Jets just are gone.
Yeah.
That's all.
I mean, they're both gone. So I don't know.
It's Lions, Falcons, 2 teams that are gone. But the Lions are playing great football. They really are really good footballs. That's right. Football. We'll see if Goff is there or not, because that could change everything. But the Falcons, man, like, they're still 6-8. Their offense isn't horrific. They just are such an inconsistently bad football team.
I don't think they've been officially eliminated yet.
So they're 6-8. They can't be.
Yeah,
they could win out and be 500 and sneak in still.
Right, over 5. They'd be 9-8 if they won.
That's right. 17 games. Yeah, they could get there.
They could get there. They won't. I think they lose this game. If Jared Goff plays, I think they lose.
Yeah, I'm with you. If it's Goff there, yeah.
I will take Lions money line if Goff is playing in this game. So
this is like this is the podcast of the Lions. Like, people need to understand that. We've been on them, like, for betting purposes at least, the entire season.
Yeah, but the Lions are fun to root for, man.
Yes, I mean, everyone likes rooting for a bad team.
Yeah, exactly. A team that has been bad for a while, and you think, yeah, if they can just, get up to go here. I'm most interested to see Amon-Ra St. Brown versus AJ Terrell. I think that's going to be a fun matchup. So there is something to watch in this game of 2 below 500 teams.
For sure. Chargers, Texans. Chargers need to keep they need to get things going here quick. They're such an inconsistent team right now. Tough loss against the Chiefs. Fair. They need this game badly.
I think they get it too. They had extra rest. They played on Thursday night. Keenan Allen's back. They said Eckler was on the COVID list and then said he wasn't on the COVID list. Yeah. So I don't know what's happening there, but it doesn't matter. Chargers win going away.
Ravens, Bengals. Lamar should be back. The Bengals embarrassed the Ravens in Baltimore a few weeks back. I'm hoping they do it again this week.
Yeah. I think the Ravens go into Cincy and win. So I think this is escalator of sadness. I think Lamar looks better coming back. He's nice and rested. We'll see. I just assume the Bengals will choke. That's my assumption always.
Bears, Seahawks, talk about choking here. This should be fun.
Who cares? This is a worse game than Detroit and Atlanta. This is on the same level.
Say it. Jags, Jets.
Of Jags and Jets.
Yep, it is. It really is.
Let's just hope the quarterbacks play well. Because if the quarterbacks play well, then we get some fantasy points out of this game.
That's our
fingers
third.
Crossed.
That's our third / maybe fourth game we've wanted to just cross off on Sunday. That's how bad it is.
Well, there's at least players to play in this game.
True.
You can play Metcalf. Lockett will be back. Fields will be back. Mooney, you can play. You can play Montgomery. You can't play anybody in that game. So you know what? It's not as bad as that game. At least you can play guys in this one. But it is not going to be. This is for draft seeding, not playoff seeding.
Another fun one we have, Steelers at the Chiefs, where Bogman's going to sweat it out for a while and see if Kelsey comes back, if Mahomes is
be on
great.
Instagram at halftime.
I'll be getting a bunch of stories sent to me from Bogman on the toilet.
Yep, that's right. So this is going to be an ass kicking. I mean, the Chiefs are going to roll over.
They're starting to look like the Chiefs of old right now, aren't they?
They really are, dude. And TJ Watt had a groin thing. So, I mean, the Steelers have to go 3-1 to make the playoffs. In the last 4 is what, Steeler fans have been saying. This is the one you can drop and will. I don't think they're 10-point favorites already. Kansas City is. So I don't think it's going to be a great game. We'll see. I hope I'm wrong.
Yeah, we'll see. Broncos, Raiders, AFC West battle. Drew Lock heads into Vegas. Raiders need to look a lot better than they did on Monday. That's all I know.
I mean,
another game to cross off?
No, because you can start the Broncos.
Renfro, Jacobs.
And the Javonte, Melvin Gordon. You could probably start Albert Aquabunum,
True.
I think he's better than Noah Fant at this point.
Hey, I've been saying for a while, if for fantasy purposes, Drew Lock needs to be the quarterback.
I mean, I don't know that there's a huge difference. I think Locke has more upside.
He's willing to make
also,
mistakes.
He'll turn the ball over so many times, right?
He's willing to. He's got the Fitzmagic gene. He's got the Fitzmagic gene.
Drew Lock is a guy that needs to go sit behind Brady. Like he needs to go back up in Tampa Bay and actually sit and learn some stuff from Brady, and then he can come out of that and play well. I mean, sitting behind Teddy, you just want to play because you're better than Teddy. You know, you got to. That kid has to go sit behind someone who he knows is better.
Next year he might sit behind Aaron, so it'll be okay.
He might start for Pittsburgh next year. So, I mean, Drew Lock should have some options, but for this game, I'll take the Broncos because they have the better defense, but not going to be a great one.
Sunday Night Football for all you Cowboys lovers. Washington versus Dallas. Hopefully Washington's back to close to full strength, which it should be. I'd imagine, at least quarterback wise, to make them competitive. And if that's the case, it's a very good game.
Yeah. And I think they will be. I think Heineke will be fine. Hopefully they escape Tuesday without horrific injury. I just want to see Dak get right. He's looked bad ever since this game. So having to play them again is not fantastic for him, but I think Dallas, I don't know that they'll win by 10.5 that they're favored now, but if it's like 8, I'll take Dallas. We'll see.
It's going to be interesting to see where the spread is once we get guys back situation.
Right.
That'll be the fun part as well. And then last but not least, Monday Night Football. The fighting Miami Dolphins head into New Orleans, which I did not want to see. To face the Saints. I don't think the Saints are good, obviously, but that stadium on prime time is not easy to play in. So
yeah, this is a playoff game,
Tua. Big test for Tua. This
is absolutely a playoff game. You know,
I might not be on the show next week.
Both these teams are 7-7. We can record right after Monday night. So that should be fun. But both these teams are 7-7. So we're either gonna have super bummed Bubba or super electric happy Bubba. So we'll see. But
you'll have to watch the YouTube feed.
Yeah, I like your guys in this game. It's a tough matchup on the road, but Saints just don't have a lot on offense. They scored 9 points. So
I'm going to learn a lot about the offense this week.
Yep.
Because they've been doing a lot of the damage at home. So this is a big week, big week.
Yeah, but, gotta beat the Saints. The Saints team, they just had their big win.
Yep.
This is, I mean, no letdowns in the pros, but this is a letdown spot. If playing at home against a team that is not as good as the team you just beat, this is a letdown spot. So
and when Tua wins, I can say he's better than Brady, so we're good. I'm kidding. Totally kidding, people. Just kidding before you blow up on that one.
He's only 7 Super Bowls short. So
yeah, just a few. But we'll talk much more about this week in the coming days here, as you'll have your picks and bets segment, as well as your Thursday night preview as well for showdown action coming up later this week. We'll have your Friday main slate episode as always for the weekend. We'll even give you a little two-game Saturday sampler, and hopefully it sticks like last week. So we'll have so much fun for you. I'm very sarcastic on each other, but I do love playing the fantasy aspect of it. It's the real-life aspect that's really frustrating right now.
Just the 40 touchdowns. Yeah. Nobody's scoring this week in the playoffs. And the COVID stuff happened in the playoffs for the regular season, too, was frustrating to see. So, and it's just like everything we said on the Friday show was dead by the time we got to Friday. So just a crazy week in the NFL. Hopefully this week we won't see that type of nonsense and it'll be better. And I believe it will be.
For sure. But in order to find all that good stuff out, make sure you follow LineStar and on Twitter at LineStar app and at LineStar NFL, and download the app in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Follow Bogman on Twitter at Bogman Sports. I'm at BDentrick. We'll be back with you guys in a few days, but good luck on your Tuesday slate, folks. Catch you guys later.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to Pre-Snap Podcast, presented by LineStar app. Please like, comment, subscribe, and rate for good karma in your fantasy football games.